everyone. I'm Dana Perino, along with Kimberly Guilfoyle, Juan Williams, Jesse Waters, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 9 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. Tonight, new reaction from President Trump to the firestorm surrounding his son's meeting with a Russian lawyer. The president is telling Reuters tonight that he only learned of last year's controversial sit-down with the Russian attorney a couple of days ago, and he doesn't fault his son for holding the meeting. Quote, many people would have, he said. Meanwhile, some on the left are continuing to push the treason charge. Others say that's nonsense.
This is conduct that would be covered by the First Amendment. It's also not prohibited by law, and there's been so much overwrought claim. There are people who are talking about treason. I can't believe the New York Times had an op-ed yesterday in which treason was mentioned.
People are saying, this could be treason, which is facially absurd.
I really think it's absurd to say this could be treason. It just doesn't rise to that level.
The president's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, thinks the White House needs to get much tougher on cracking down on leaks.
Anybody, and I mean anybody, who is not on the president's agenda that works in this administration should absolutely be removed immediately. I don't know who the leaker is, but let me tell you this. If it were up to me and somebody was speaking to the media or leaking information which could potentially be detrimental to the president and this administration of getting their agenda done, I would fire him on the spot, and Donald Trump will do the same.
All right, Juan, if I could go to you first, because you can think that Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting was wrong, possibly unethical, but to jump to treason, does that just undermine the Democrats' point of trying to continue this investigation with any sort of credibility?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the world of hyperbole, unsupported, unsubstantiated, and it looks to me like the kind of thing that would give grist to the other side that wants to say that the Democrats or liberals, the left, however you want to describe it, the progressives, are just inflamed to the point that they've lost rationality, because there's no basis in which you can say treason is at stake here. I mean, this is an interesting point, Dana, because if you think of impeachment as the ultimate goal for the far left here, then you're talking about high crimes and treason, right? That's the definition. That is a political statement. That's not a legal definition. That's up to, like, if you and I are members of the Congress, then we get to decide, do we consider this to be treasonous behavior? But even by that definition, in other words, moving away from the statutes, I don't see it.
I mean, Kimberly, you're the lawyer at the table.
Indeed.
Dershowitz went on to say that perhaps Congress needs to clarify the law about interaction between campaigns and foreign governments, but that right now this is just not there.
Well, he's right. This is the thing. People are trying to run with this because I think they are trying to obviously smear Donald Trump Jr. They're trying to ruin any kind of political aspirations. Do you guys remember we were at the RNC and how well he did, and he gave a great speech, and a lot of people talked about his political future? This is trying to do reputational and generational damage to the Trump family, and they are starting heavily and aggressively with Donald Jr. in terms of the family. They've tried to take hits, at Ivanka, who, by the way, has been very passionate, coming out on behalf of women's issues and fair pay for women and help for working women, as it relates to health care, as it relates to Syria and the chemical weapons attacks. So for me, when I see something like this, I just wonder, what is the motivation behind it in terms of somebody going after him like this? I don't see any evidence of a crime. And Dershowitz is right. Perhaps this is really the perfect time to find some clarification, some clarity as it relates to what is appropriate and what isn't. Let me tell you, if my father was running for president of the United States, I would sit down and take a meeting and find out if there was information against an opponent. Let me tell you something. Compare this to what Hillary Clinton did to the women that accused Bill Clinton of sexual misconduct or assaultive conduct against them, etc. What did she do to smear them and investigate them? So I find the hypocrisy from the left really appalling.
Jesse, some on the right have been saying then, well, why isn't anybody looking into and investigating and charging Hillary Clinton's team with collusion with the Ukrainians because they got information that was against Paul Manafort, who eventually basically gets fired from the Trump campaign? But if that's the case, then isn't that also admitting then that this meeting was wrong?
I think they're saying if you want to criminalize politics, we can go tit for tat. I don't think anybody's going to go down that road, though, because that would never happen. You're never going to get Hillary Clinton to be guilty of anything.
Yeah, we've established that.
They've tried that. It doesn't work. But Trump's pretty Teflon, too, and I believe the Teflon-ness has been passed down to Don Jr. because, you know, yes, he did give the left a little ammo here, but what is the left going to do? They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And they've done that because now Tim Kaine, who lost in November, is talking about treason.
He can play a harmonica.
Yes, exactly. Now, let's think about treason. Donald Trump Jr. got duped into a meeting about Russian human rights abuses, and nothing came of it. There was no information exchanged. And you want to charge him with treason so he should face the death penalty for being duped into a meeting about something else? I mean, it is absolutely crazy. He's not a seasoned political operative. Like Kimberly said, he's just trying to help his father. And if there's something wrong with just trying to help your father, then I guess he's guilty.
We're all guilty.
Lock us up.
But one of the things, though, is, and Corey Lewandowski was getting to that in that soundbite, Greg, is that the leaks are actually coming from the inside. So they established, I think it was Axios this morning said, that the White House is not under any illusions. They understand they have a PR problem. They don't think they have a legal problem, at least not yet. But the PR problem is actually sort of internal sabotage, and that could cause them more problems.
Yeah, I don't care. I honestly I don't care. The more alarmed the press becomes, the more I believe America is becoming exhausted. These stories are becoming so intense and so over the top, and they're so interested in relitigating the past instead of the future. It's not about, we know as Americans, it's not about collusion. It's about settling the score. And I would think, yeah, we might do the same thing because we'd be angry over an election. But at a certain point, you got to let it go. I mean, if I could redefine collusion as the collusion between the media, academia, and the entertainment industry who've been trying to brainwash us for decades over the dumbest ideologies. We've been victims of collusions all of our lives. The narrative here is that the Trump presidency is in disarray. That's what we know because that's what we elected. We are okay with disarray. We elected somebody because they don't have experience in politics. Therefore, he is surrounded by people who are not adept at controlling the narrative. Maybe that's their fault, and maybe Donald should have known better. But the bottom line is this. If you wanted this not to happen, you could have had a Kasich. You could have had a Rubio, but then you wouldn't have had the phenomenon. You wouldn't have the revolution.
You'd probably have Clinton.
And you would probably have Clinton. So you take the good.
And now we have less ISIS.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So you have the good, which is you have this. It's a phenomenon. Trump is a phenomenon, and you're seeing things happen like ISIS. But the downside is you're going to have this stuff going on forever because they don't know how to deal with it because they're not insiders. You elected an outsider. This is not a bug in the system. This is the system, and we just have to deal with it, and we have to get over it. The hyperventilation on the other networks is insane. I mean, have you seen them lately? I worry about their health.
But you can. Yesterday, you saw it at fever pitch.
Yeah.
And today, you can even see the temperature come down at least half a degree from what it was yesterday.
But they will find something new. They will find this Wall Street Journal piece that came out. Everybody's screaming about it, and then you read it. And you try to find, there's nothing in there. At least I couldn't find it.
The Wall Street Journal piece is basically saying that the Russians were trying to infiltrate into the campaigns just to see who might, well, they were trying to listen in we found out the Russians were talking about the Trump campaign, but we have known that.
Yeah,
that was actually.
But that was like,
something
that was the tick, tick, boom on Twitter that everybody, oh, this is fine. This is the other.
It was sort of like a bleh.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are two other stories that are interesting. One is McClatchy reporting that, in fact, there's concern that the Russians were given information about various districts where there were vulnerabilities for Clinton, where there were weaknesses, and then those districts saw an increase of the kind of hacking and emails being sent in specifically targeted at blacks, women, that decreased Hillary Clinton's vote. Now, that would be cooperating and urging on a foreign power. So you guys say, well, there's no treason and Democrats look silly, and I agree. But that's not to say that there's not real problems here. I mean, even, for me, as a Democrat, I look to see what are Republicans saying? When are Republicans going to become critical? And today you had National Review saying basically, Russian collusion is no longer just a tinfoil conspiracy theory. No American, Republican or Democrat, should defend the intent of Donald Trump's meeting. I mean,
Well, even Donald Trump Jr. said he would have done it differently if hindsight being 2020. He even said that.
yeah, but I mean, Jesse says that he was duped. He wasn't duped. He saw an email that
Wait a
said
second.
this
it was
woman.
a sloppy meeting.
No,
They
no, no.
came
This
to
woman
him.
is coming
He only
with
did it because he was
information.
boys with the guy that did the hookup. He
No,
doesn't
no.
know this person.
Well, why
and
would
the
you-
meeting
but
fizzled out
but
after
Jesse,
30 minutes.
Jesse, the email said this. She's coming with information directly from the Russian
Sad,
government.
because this
And
party
you know-
is going down the toilet. They don't get it. And by the way, now people within your party, Juan, are saying this Russia story is a total loser. Okay, you guys don't have the Senate, you don't have the House, you certainly don't have the Oval. You keep chasing this story. You have Bernie Sanders, who, you know, he's not a closer either. Hillary's going to try and ruin the party again and hide out and eat Scooby snacks in the van and lose another election. If I were you guys, I'd be freaking out. You know, it's not going well. It's really not going well.
I think from what
Just
I
saying,
read,
I didn't want to like help
I think
your
who's
team,
not
but-
going well for, and I don't care what your political affiliation. This president's White House is not doing the job. It's not delivering for
Well,
Republicans.
he needs to get some better
Juan-
people in to be able to deliver what he promised the working men and women
Wait,
across this country.
Kimberly Guilfoyle just said that she thinks President Trump should get better people.
Yes, I think he should get better people in. He needs to fill the positions that are there, and he knows that.
And
This
I
is
wouldn't
not a
pay
news-
too much attention
This is
to
not a
like
newsflash to the
weak-kneed
president.
Senate Republicans because they're going to run for the hills, the smallest whiff of
Oh,
controversy.
you think Senate Republicans are going to run for the Hill?
And House Senate and House Republicans.
I don't see any evidence.
I have a
of that.
question.
I've watched them all day. They're like, "Oh, I'm very concerned about this.
Yeah,
very
yeah,
concerned
but
about this."
they're not turning away from Donald
Can
Trump.
I-
They
ask
will
one
the first
dumb-
time the thing
I'm going to ask the
drops.
dumbest question because I
Please.
like asking dumb questions.
Yeah, good at it.
How come how come a citizen cannot engage in a practice that a reporter can? A reporter can go to a meeting, and if he gets some information, that person's a whistleblower. You're a hero. Pentagon Papers. It's Snowden. It's everything. But then if Trump Jr., who is a citizen, not involved in a campaign, does it, it's called collusion. When in fact, if he had found something, he could have been our Chelsea Manning, and he could have been a hero. But no, he's collusion. A reporter, however, is a hero. They make a movie about you.
But
I
it's a
think that
question.
He was
if a
involved
foreign
in the
government, just hypothetical,
Yes.
if a foreign government comes to you with information to damage another American,
Yes?
I would not do it.
Oh, I would. In a second. I'd go, oh, wait, so you're going to tell me Dana's going to get on the phone? Hello, FBI? No, you're not. You're going to go, I wonder what it is. I've got information
I
on Jesse
absolutely
Waters.
disagree with you. I would never do anything to hurt Jesse Waters. But if they call me
dossier
about
is fake
information
news.
on you, I am taking that call.
I know
All right.
you would.
Joe Scarborough's breakup announcement next. Not the split you might be thinking. Stay tuned.
Ooh.